darlings. How are you? Well, cherished ducklings. Woo-hoo! I'm Peri Lyons. This is I'm you, which is the best possible thing you could be. And what else? Green juice. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Um, Before we get to the psychic tarot weather, which we're going to do in a moment, I get a lot of people. It's funny. Like 10 or 15 years ago, especially in the circles I was traveling in now, going around in circles. I was traveling in very sort of intellectual, artsy New York circles. And people would ask me what I did. And I'd say, I'm a psychic. And they'd sort of back away slowly and sneer. Then later on, they'd corner me in the kitchen and ask me for a reading. And I'd be like, no. But people have gotten a lot nicer about it now. If they call me a freak, it's only behind my back, which I appreciate. So I got a couple of questions from you guys in my email this week. Clever things. And first question was, it must be great being psychic. Can you teach me? First answer is, but yes, I'll get back to that. The second question was, why don't you use it to win the lottery? I'm going to answer both of those questions. First question is, the psychic thing, parts of it kind of descended upon me. The being able to see dead people thing was a completely unasked for add-on. Like somebody gave me a convertible roof on my car without consulting me first. Actually, nothing like that at all. But I was at my then husband's art studio in downtown New York, and it was the strangest night in New York City. There was like a 14-hour lightning storm. It was nothing but lightning from the horizon of the sky. It was amazing. And my husband was there with a new friend of his. And stop me if I told you this. And I was playing with some tarot cards. And I didn't know the new friend. And I looked up, and suddenly, standing next to his new friend was kind of a see-through. She wasn't a ghost. I'm terrified of ghosts, just between me. I guess you just call her somebody who passed over, who stopping by to make a visit. It was sort of like a color slide projected on the water. Don't look at my nails. They're awful. So she was standing there, and I said, Alan, his friend's name, did you know anybody who's about 4'11", had kind of a white curly hair, a very sweet face, wore a Peter Pan collared house dress, and would bake you some sort of cake in a blue pan with a puffy top? And she says her name is Sarah. Hi, Linda. I'll be with you in a minute. Meanwhile, breathe deeply and concentrate on your question. I'll be a couple of minutes. So she says her name is Sarah, and she was born either March 13th or 15th. And he said, yeah, that was my grandmother, Sarah. The shtetl burned down with the records in it, so she didn't know when her birthday was, so we celebrated it on the 15th because it was either the 13th or 12th or the 14th. We didn't know which. You know what I'm saying. And then suddenly all of these other people appeared behind Alan. I won't go into too much detail because I want to get to know Linda and do the card reading. But, and because I don't want to break Alan's confidentiality. But what was amazing was both his birth parents and his adoptive parents showed up and said to say hi. Anyway, more about that some other show. But so the other thing about being psychic is if you are in, for instance, a long-term relationship with a very, very handsome guy and he looks elsewhere, you will have a completely realistic, accurate, and in real-time dream about what he's doing while he's doing it. It's not fun. So the psychic thing, it can be fun. As for the lottery thing, right after my traumatic brain injury, which is one of the other things that contributed to me being a psychic that I don't recommend doing, I managed to hit myself over the head with a piano. That was a while ago, but still. So I was standing in line at the bodega, which is a deli in New York, and just staring idly at the lotto numbers they'd posted from the day before. And as I'm staring at the numbers, they changed into different numbers. I'm like, that's interesting. So I write them down, and I buy a lotto ticket, which I never do. And so I went home, and the next day I checked, and 5 out of 6 of my Number said 1. And I never found the ticket. And apparently just showing up at the lottery commission and saying, I swear to God, I bought the ticket. I can't find it. Trust me. Doesn't work. Don't believe me. Okay. So, tales from psychic show business. I'm going to do the psychic tarot weather, which is just like regular weather, except less damaging to crops. And if you've seen Twister, when I'm doing the psychic weather, I very seldom have a cow flying over my head. Only once, not this. I don't like to talk about it. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 cards. First card is beginning of the week, starting today. Second card, middle of the week. Third card, end of the week. You're getting the hang of this. And it just addresses kind of the energies that's going to come up, even if you didn't mean to listen to or watch the show. And if you didn't, shame on you. Come back next week. So here's the first one I got, which is really interesting. It's a family card. It's a many generations card. Sometimes this means somebody is marrying into a form of generational wealth, only about 20% of the time. And I try to get it for me, but sadly. But most of the time, it means that you're probably going to be either dealing with responsibilities having to do with like parents, children, grandparents, or you're going to be spending some time with extended family. Extended family, by which I mean like multi-generation, is going to come into your consciousness sometime in the first part of this week. Maybe you're just doing genealogy, which I recommend. It's really fun. Until I did that, I didn't know I was the great-great-great-granddaughter of like all these people in the Mayflower. Who knew? Okay. Second card, interesting. It looks a little depressing, but it's actually not. The Hermit card is an affirmation for you to, is that the right word? It's asking you to follow your own truths no matter what. So if there's like something you want to do, an art project or new job, and everybody around you saying, no, 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 ignore them and do your own thing. It's also a moment this weekend when you might have some sort of spiritual revelation. You might, I've been working with something called the Seth Center, which are these channeled messages. Very, very interesting. It's changed my perspective. You might do something like that, but there's going to be some sort of, the card with this guy on it is, you'll see he's following his own truth. Well, he's following his own lamp, but it's a symbol. Anyway, okay. What is the third card? The third card is interesting. It's public, it's the stag cards from Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal deck. I really like it. This does not necessarily mean that you will either turn into a stag or there'll be one in your garden, as there was one in my garden today, eating my roses. And I went and I said, can I help you, sir? And he looked at me. He just looked at me. I'm like, you want to see the wine list? Then he ran away. The stag card is public leadership. You might be doing some volunteer work if you're like me, political minded. I've been doing a lot of phone banking and writing postcards and stuff. You might be reminding people to vote for whoever you want to vote for. But it's interesting. Or the other thing my guides just told me is that you might be stepping into a slightly more public leadership thing at work. They might make you have a meeting or do some sort of speech. But it's good. Good card. Woohoo! Okay, Linda, are you still there, my angel? Darling girl? Linda? Oh, good. I'm so glad. I brought one of my spirit guides along to meet you. His name is Ralph. He used to be an accountant, but then he realized he actually wanted to be a spirit guide. Anyway, so I like to connect with people through their birthdays. When is your birthday?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
Oh, I said I like to connect to people through their birthdays. When's your birthday, my dear?
In August.
Is there a specific day or all of August? That must have been hard for your
I'm
mother.
sorry. Yeah, August 6th.
Oh, great day.
1957.
Oh, you're just a baby. Okay. So, interesting. All right, my dear. What's your question? I think you have a question you want to ask, but you're shy about asking it. So that's the question I want.
I just kind of know what's going on in the future.
Okay. Love future, work future, international affairs future. I'll do a general. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, just general, hon.
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Um, sorry, I scan people when I'm reading them, and I just realized it's not a great look on television. It's like, huh? Mhm. Tell me about Linda. Okay. Do you have two kids? Three?
2.
Okay. Funny, a third one is popping up. I'm not sure why. Okay. Your kids are doing
I've got
well.
like stepchildren.
I'm sorry, what?
I got like stepchildren,
Oh,
but I
cool.
got like 2 that was mine.
A boy and girl?
Yes.
I like them. They're neat. Okay, they're doing great, first of all. Um, Funny, I feel like I don't think I don't feel like you're working right now. Are you retired? Or
Yes, I'm retired.
okay. But you did something that involved administration and healing of some kind. Did you work at a hospital or
Yes.
something to do with insurance?
Nursing home. Yeah.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, and that has a lot of paperwork. So, damn, I'm good. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Um, that's interesting. Have you ever wanted to take a cruise?
No, I've never taken a cruise.
Well, I'm seeing you traveling around the holidays. Is it possible? That's really funny. I've never, I've never gotten this for a caller before. Maybe this is just because I was watching that great Cary Grant movie, An Affair to Remember, which is set in a cruise ship. But God,
Oh, yeah.
I love Cary Grant. Oh, anyway, no, I'm seeing you. Are you in the smaller side? Are you kind of petite? Like,
The smaller side.
are you like 5'4"-ish, 5'2"-ish?
Yeah, about 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, 5'2"-ish. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was looking at you because I'm seeing you on the deck. You have shorter hair now? Little curly?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. What's your hair
Yeah,
like?
it's kind of wavy, but it's long.
Oh, cool. Good for you. Well, maybe you'll get it cut by the time you're on the ship. That's funny. I'm not usually wrong about hair. Well,
I was thinking about getting it cut.
it would look very pretty on you. You've got delicate features, so you could carry it off. When I get a short haircut, I look like a really overgrown 10-year-old boy. Not my favorite look. So I think you are going to be traveling. I don't know if you've traveled much in the last 20 years, but I think you're going to be traveling twice in the next year and a half, which I like. Do you have like ancestors in Europe? I feel like you're going to be visiting a
Yeah.
place. Okay, where Italy and Ireland, or Italy or Ireland?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
Ireland.
yeah. You might have a little. I got my DNA done. It turns out I was like 4% Italian. Like, cool. What? Um, okay. Yeah, your family's from two places in Ireland. It's from like County Clare, or like sort of the middle of Ireland, and then the coast, more like Cork, maybe Galway, Dublin, that kind of thing. I see
Yeah,
that
that's
you
pretty.
might be this. What is that?
I said
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting.
Cool. Um, Funny, I said earlier I've been doing genealogy, and I sing a song in my cabaret act called "From Clare to Here." Beautiful song, and it turns out my family's from County Clare. So who knew? But I do get the feeling most of your family's from Dublin or Cork, like a little more south. Uh, that's sort of I'm seeing you in the Dublin area sometime in the next 14, 15 months. I keep getting you on this cruise ship. Knock yourself. I mean, go for it. Start hinting to your children. They owe you. You gave them life. They can give you a cruise.
Yeah, or I could win the lottery.
Well, I don't know if you heard my earlier lottery story, but if you do, I'll take 10%. Thank you.
Okay.
You're gonna be spending a lot of time with some grandchildren. Uh, I think you have one, maybe two. If you don't have two, you're going to have two very soon. You're going to have 4 or 5 total grandchildren. They're
Really?
adorable. Short but adorable. I mean,
Is that grandchildren or great grandchildren?
I guess I was getting I don't know. Maybe it's great grandchildren. It's either grandchildren or great grandchildren. I'm leaving that up to you.
Okay, because I've only got grand. Somebody else is going to have any babies, so
Okay.
except for him. So I guess that would be the great grandbabies.
Maybe. Well, you've got. If you, I
Yeah.
don't usually say stuff like this either, but you come from a family that has long lives on both sides. Is that correct? If they didn't have long lives, it's because they had an accident or they smoked a lot. But you have at least one grandparent who lived a pretty long time. So I'm seeing a long life for
Yeah.
you. So take care of yourself, jog every day, and do some
Okay,
extra
I'll
jogging
try.
for me. No, you don't have to jog every day. I'm just kidding. I think you're going to be doing some sort of. Do you feel like? Are you good with your hands, like knitting, crocheting, quilting, or something like that? I'm not sure I'm
Yes.
quite on with this. You are okay.
Yeah, I knit all the time.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was getting. Funny, I have so much admiration for people who can knit. So many people have tried to teach me to knit. They'll teach me the first part, leave me alone in a room with a big ball of wool. They'll come back 5 minutes later, the entire room will be filled with wool, and my voice will be issuing out from the middle, going, "Help me, help me!" So amazing. I think you're going to be doing some sort of volunteer work, or I don't know. I'm seeing you like it's hard to tell. It's a community space. There's like construction paper sort of decorations in the walls. So it's not a museum, but I can't tell if it's a multi-use space and you're part of some sort of community group that meets. You play bridge or something, or cards or something, with some sort of community thing. Anyway, I will invite you to get involved in community, even if you don't feel like doing volunteer work. This year coming up is a year that it's a kind of important year for you to be social. It's part of my Let's Make Linda Live to be 104 plan for you. Being social, being in community is very, very good for our immune systems. And someday I'm going to have a friend. No, I'm kidding. Your health seems pretty good. Your joints are a little stiff, but you've been pretty lucky health-wise, I think. Maybe a little blood sugar issue there. I'm not allowed to ask that. Never mind. Yeah. Do you have any more specific questions, or have I kind of covered it?
I think you pretty well covered it, hon. Yeah.
Thank you. And was I accurate? You feel?
Yes.
You got
Yes,
your money's
you
worth?
were.
Okay. Oh, good. It's so
All
nice to
right.
meet you, Linda. All right, my love. Call back. Let me know how you're doing. I'm Peri Lyons on Facebook.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, sweetie. Thank you. Oh, she's adorable. So cute. I get the best callers in the show. I really do. Okay. I get a lot of Leos too, because they're not like afraid of being on TV. And Aquariuses. I get everybody. And if you're listening or watching, reintroduce myself. My name is Peri Lyons, Perilyons. I'm the New York City celebrity psychic. You're watching Moonstruck TV or listening to A1R Radio, and as this title, New York City celebrity psychic probably tells you, I'm a New Yorker who works with a lot of celebrities. I've been profiled in New Yorker magazine. What else? I'm featured in some documentaries. I'm finishing a book, and I'm getting ready to teach a class called How to Be Psychic Without Even Trying. So I am sitting here waiting for your call. I'm staring at the phone like a lovesick teenager. And as you can tell, if you heard our last call with lovely Linda, who I just adored, I'm rocking like a 97% accuracy rate today. Not sure why, but I'm not asking questions. So, meanwhile, this weekend, tell you a little about my life while I'm waiting for the next caller. I went to a very fancy society wedding in New York City, which was really fun. And I stayed at my friend Elizabeth Grace's house. Elizabeth Grace is a famous astrologer. So we're putting together a podcast, which I'm kind of excited about. We're both kind of smart Alex, but we're also both very good at our jobs. Well, she is. I just try. And what can I tell you? Somebody else wrote in. This was a Halloween question. And they said, have you ever seen a ghost? I've seen a ghost. I've told that story a couple times in the show, so I'm going to skip it for now. But I will say that I had some poltergeist activity in a nightclub I was bartending and singing in New York City. The place was double. It was a house that was built in 1840, and it's now a bar nightclub. And I was all alone, and I'd set up all the alarm system because nobody could get in or out. Well, I mean, obviously I could get out eventually, but otherwise I'd still be there. Anyway, and I went, and the place had always been kind of haunted. When I was working in the office below, there'd be a light bulb above me, which when I came into work, the light bulb would get bored and start unscrewing itself. So squeak, squeak, squeak. And I'd look up and say, knock it off. I'd go, squeak. And a couple of times it fell on the floor, but most of the time I yelled at it and it stopped. But the one night I had to run downstairs to just do something and run back up. About maybe 90 seconds. And if there was a stage, there were all these sort of like cane, like cafe chairs in the audience. I ran downstairs, came back up 90 seconds later, and there was a pyramid of chairs on the stage. 9 chairs in a pyramid. Not physically or humanly possible. To this day, I'm like, did I see that? But, yes, I did. That was scary. I also have had ghosts tap me very hard on the shoulder when they wanted to make a point. I've had, until I've decided not to take any more callers because you guys are so much fun to talk to. I'm going to tell you all my secrets. Well, not all of them. So I also, what can I tell you? Last year I was doing a reading at home for this young woman who lost her husband. And for some reason, I could not put a foot wrong with that reading. I'm like, he had a white truck. He named Wendy. He was born in Texas, but grew up in Louisiana. I'm like, I mean, he's really cute because he was. I can, as I said, when people from the other side appear to me, they look like sort of color slides projected onto water, running water. But he was very cute. He was kind of like a Matthew McConaughey lookalike, about 28. Woo! So I hung up with her, and he was still there. Usually I send him back. He wouldn't leave. He followed me around my kitchen, flirting with me for about 2 hours. And then when I had thought I'd made him leave, he messed with me for another 24 hours. He like moved stuff, and I could hear him giggle, and I'm like, knock it off. Some of us have to live around here. So I saged my house, and I lit a candle and said some prayers, and I haven't made that mistake again. Sometimes when I'm doing readings for people, just tarot or clairvoyant readings, and I always do Reiki for the person when I'm doing reading. I often don't tell them about it. It's just an energy healing modality. But so I'll be doing the cards, or I'll just be telling them, that they're going to be hit by Buick on Tuesday, or not really. And then often an ancestor, relative of theirs, will appear in the doorway. They know they're not allowed to come further into the room. Not after that thing with that cowboy. So they stand in the doorway and they sort of wave and they identify themselves. And it's really fun. I never believed in life after death. I didn't believe in ESP, or as they used to call it, or psychicness, until it started happening to me. I mean, I was in fashion. I was a model. I worked in retail. Then I worked in publishing. I'm a singer-songwriter. I did cabaret at night in the New York art world. I wasn't expecting this. It's been fun now that I've gotten used to it, but it's also been a little alarming sometimes. Luckily, my guides, my spirit guides, like Ralph here. Where are you, Ralph? Ralph, you're my spirit guide. Woo! Say hi, Ralph. Okay. Um, he's not actually. Okay. Yes, you are. I'm sorry. I hurt his feelings. As I said, Ralph used to be an accountant. He retired and became a spirit guide. Where was I going? Oh, spirit guides. I don't know where I was going with this, but I have 5 spirit guides. Sometimes they'll change out. I'll get a new one, and one of the older ones will go bother somebody else for a while. 2 of them are people I know. One is a woman dressed in traditional tribal dress from Mali, Africa. I have no idea why. She wears purple. One of them is a very, very beautiful woman. That's my dad. And one's a friend named Robin, who's a great cinematographer, who we lost sadly early. But even though he was a cinematographer, he shows up to advise me about contracts. And he always hits on my pretty female clients. Robin is something of a hound, I tell you. My dad is great for medical stuff. So the woman from Mali, her name is Brenda. Anyway, a spirit guide named Brenda. Okay. Anyway, those are all my secrets for now. Come back next week, I'll tell you some more. But more importantly, I'll tell you your secrets. I love you, and that color looks great on you. See you soon.